This is Professor Michael Chapman. I'm one of the most experienced IVF doctors in Australia. I believe that an important part that I can contribute is to educate patients in relation to fertility, infertility, and all that involves. These series of podcasts help to educate you. I hope they are helpful to you. If you wish to know more, however, I'm more than happy to have you contact me via email, which is profmchapman@gmail.com, or make an appointment to see me on 9138 4222.
Another question from Jen. She says, how do you cope with a failed IVF cycle?
Okay, as I said earlier, 60% of cycles, I'm sitting across the table from a couple or a woman who says, why didn't I get pregnant? So my first step in dealing with this is to indicate to the woman that she's not unique, but that expectation that has been created that I will be pregnant and that being dashed is really a horrible emotional ride. We talk about how soon they want to get on with further treatment or to have a rest to give them a chance to get over the situation. We talk about, as I said, causes. As far as we know, and that's the big problem, is that there's a big gap in our knowledge that we still don't quite understand why with having created an embryo, we don't get a baby. Albeit, even in nature, we do have evidence that when looking at natural cycles, that something in the order of 60% of them actually demonstrate signs of a pregnancy through measuring their hormone level, the HCG levels, 1 or 2 days before they'd expect their period to come. 60%. But only 15% won't get a period. So the human actually is a very poor reproducer. It produces lots of embryos that it doesn't want them to carry on because they're genetically not right or the lining of the womb's not right. When we look at embryos in women at various ages, when we test them for genetics, we do find the similar thing, that of all embryos we test, say, at the age of 35, we'll find that 60% of them actually were genetically abnormal. We don't usually test them at 36, but it means that when those go back, you're not going to get pregnant and there's going to be a miscarriage. So we talk about the possibility in a subsequent cycle of actually genetic testing the eggs, because if we put back an embryo which is genetically normal, has the 46 chromosomes, the miscarriage rate, well, first of all, the pregnancy rate rises from 35 to 40% to something like 55 to 60%. So much better. And even more importantly, the miscarriage rate in the background group is around 15% in nature and in IVF. When we put back a euploid and genetically normal embryo, that miscarriage rate drops to 3 or 4%. So there are ways of improving the situation going forward. There are investigations that we do in case there are rare causes of rejection of the embryo, immunological causes, hematological, blood disorders. We go through those and exclude those. Before you had your cyclitis, we always test the genetics of each of the male and the female partner to make sure they're normal. Because there's about 1 in 150 couples who come for infertility care where there is an aberration of the chromosomes, which will lead to an increased number of abnormal embryos. So dealing with it, I think I have a reputation of being nice and supportive, and then in terms of attempting to find a cause and then attempting to improve the chances next time.
And don't forget that you can access all the previous episodes by going to our website www.theivfjourney.com and select IVF Journey podcast from the navigation menu.